Have you ever felt that, no matter how hard you try, your financial life seems stuck in a cycle of challenges and difficulties? Bills pile up, opportunities seem scarce, and the weight of debt becomes a difficult burden to bear. But what if there was a way to transform this reality? A way to attract prosperity, open paths, and receive a financial miracle? St. George, the powerful warrior of faith, is known for his strength, courage, and divine intercession. By using your spiritual protection, you not only find security, but also an energy capable of breaking through obstacles and bringing abundance for your life. This prayer you are about to say is a true shield against adversity, a call for transformation, and an invitation for the divine justice act in your favor. Get ready, because this journey of 7 days, it can mark the beginning of a new phase in your life. With faith, persistence, and an open heart, you will see financial miracles happening where before there were only challenges. Now, take a deep breath, concentrate, and allow the powerful force of St. George to guide your steps. Prayer has immeasurable power, capable of transforming even the most difficult situations. When we went to St. George, we asked not just for financial assistance, but for a real intercession to break the blockages that impede our prosperity. He, with his sword and unshakable faith, fights for those who trust in divine strength, opening paths where there were only difficulties before. If you feel like your financial life needs a miracle, this prayer could be the key to it. Overcome challenges and attract abundance. These are not empty words, but a spiritual commitment. By praying with faith, you strengthen your connection with the sacred and allow blessings come to you. Many who have turned to St. George witness surprising changes, debts paid off unexpectedly, opportunities emerging, and doors opening where previously there were only negative ones. The strength of prayer is believing that something great can happen at any moment. Therefore, when starting this prayer, do it with an open heart and a calm mind. Trust that St. George is already fighting for you, removing scarcity and bringing financial miracle that you are waiting for so much. And remember, God acts at the right time, and prayer is the channel that connects us to His will. Get ready to feel the transformation in your life. Faith is the flame that illuminates even the darkest moments. When we face financial challenges, it is easy to fall into despair, but real change begins when we choose to believe that prosperity is on the way. St. George teaches us that the battle is not only external, but also internal. By strengthening our confidence, we become more prepared to receive the blessings that are already on the way. Remember, every difficulty can be the beginning of a great turnaround. Turning problems into opportunities requires more than waiting for a miracle. You need to act with faith. Those who believe in divine intercession also take actions that reflect this trust. If you want to get out of debt, in addition to praying, seek knowledge, organize your finances, and be aware of the doors that St. George can open. Often, a simple idea or an unexpected contact can be the beginning of abundance that you so desire. True faith is not shaken by challenges. On the contrary, it grows and strengthens us. By repeating this prayer daily, you will be reaffirming your confidence and allowing transformation to occur. Believe me, St. George does not abandon those who trust in him. What seems impossible today can become a great achievement tomorrow. Stand firm, because the divine justice always manifests itself to those who persist. Abundance, it is a natural state for those who trust in divine action. St. George, with his strength and determination, not only defends his devotees, but also removes the obstacles that impede the flow of prosperity. Often, what separates us from a great achievement is a simple detail, an adjustment in the course, and that is exactly where the intercession of the Holy Warrior acts. He undoes impossible knots, breaks spiritual ties, and opens paths for blessings to reach us. How many times do we feel trapped in a known situation? The salary that doesn't pay off, the debts that seem to grow out of control, the opportunities that never arrive. But the truth is that life can change from one moment to the next. When we invoke St. George with faith, we are calling the energy of overcoming and courage to transform difficulties into growth. The unexpected can become reality: a salary increase, a promising business, help coming from where you least expect it. Therefore, open your heart to receive. Pray believing that abundance is already on the way, because prosperity begins in the mind and spirit before manifesting in the material world. Trust that St. George is already moving the right pieces so that your financial path is illuminated. And when blessings come, remember to give thanks and share, because the more generosity we cultivate, the more blessings are bestowed upon us. Financial challenges are not just material issues, they are often a reflection of negative energies that surround us. Envy, fear, insecurity, and even negative thought patterns can block the prosperity. That's why resorting to spiritual protection of St. George is essential. As a true warrior of faith, he raises his shield over those who cry out for his help, warding off influences that impede growth and bringing strength to face any financial battle. Many people report that, after using this prayer, they began to see situations with more clarity and courage. Bills that seemed impossible to pay were renegotiated. New opportunities emerged, and fear was replaced by renewed confidence. This happens because St. George's protection not only frees us from evil, but also strengthens us internally, allowing us to face challenges with more determination and faith in victory. If you feel like your financial life is stuck, ask St. George to cut the bonds of scarcity and open the paths to abundance. Pray with conviction, knowing that no obstacle is greater than the strength of those who are protected by the Holy Warrior. With courage and faith, you can turn any difficulty into a new beginning. The first step to winning any battle is believing that victory is already on the way. Prayer has even more power when we unite our intentions into a single purpose. If you want a real change in your financial life, don't keep this request just to yourself. Write in the comments your supplication to St. George and declare your faith. By putting your intention into words, you strengthen your spiritual commitment and invite others to join you in prayer. The stronger this chain of faith, the greater the strength of divine intercession. Think about it: when many hearts turn to the same purpose, miracles happen. By sharing your request, you not only express your need, but also open space for others to pray for you. Likewise, when you see other people's requests, take the opportunity to wish that the prosperity and abundance also reach their lives. Spiritual charity begins when we wish good to others, and St. George reciprocates with multiplied blessings. So, make that commitment right now. Write in the comments, St. George, open my financial paths and bring abundance into my life. Leave your name, your intention, and believe that the answer is already on its way. Your transformation can begin the moment you declare your faith. Write, share, and see how the power of prayer can change everything. The image of St. George mounted on his horse, wielding his sword against the dragon, carries a powerful meaning. The sword symbolizes justice and courage to cut what hinders our growth, be it a limiting thought, a suffocating debt, or a blocked opportunity. The armor represents the spiritual protection, ensuring that no adversity can bring us down. Just as he defeated the dragon, you can also overcome any financial challenge you are facing. We often feel like we are in a daily battle against difficulties. The bills arrive, opportunities seem scarce, and fear tries to paralyze us. But when we reflect on the strength of St. George, we learn to face challenges with determination. He teaches us that, even in the face of great obstacles, victory is possible for those who do not give up. The faith, combined with action, is what makes us resilient and enables us to turn the tide. Each time you repeat this prayer, visualize St. George at your side, opening the paths, driving away invisible enemies, and bringing prosperity. Feel the strength of your sword cutting through all evil and your armor protecting your spirit against negativity. Be strong, have faith, and believe no financial challenge is greater than the power of divine intercession. A gratitude is one of the most important pillars for attracting prosperity and abundance. When we recognize the blessings we have already received, we make room for more good things to come into our lives. St. George teaches us that true victory is not only in receiving, but also in thank and share. Therefore, when saying this prayer, do not just focus on what is missing, but also on what has already been achieved. Small advances are signs that the transformation has already begun. In addition to being grateful, it is essential to practice charity. Even if you're going through financial challenges, there's always something you can offer: a word of support, a kind gesture, or even a prayer for someone who also needs it. The energy of giving and receiving is a cycle, and St. George rewards those who help others. The more generosity we cultivate, the more blessings return to us, because the universe repays those who spread good. So commit to daily gratitude. At the end of each prayer, give thanks as if the blessing had already been granted. Say out loud, "Thank you, St. George, for opening my paths and bringing abundance into my life." This simple attitude strengthens your faith and accelerates positive changes. That a grateful heart becomes a magnet for miracles, and the next one could be yours. A persistence in prayer, it's one of the secrets to seeing concrete results. Just as St. George never backed down in his battles, we must also be firm in faith and determined in our supplications. Repeat this prayer for 7 days in a row. Creates a positive energy field, strengthens spiritual connection, and demonstrates a real commitment to financial transformation. Along this journey, you will begin to notice signs of change, whether it be an easing of difficulties, new ideas emerging, or doors that once seemed closed beginning to open. But this practice goes beyond mechanical repetition, that each day must be lived with more faith and gratitude than the previous one. But take advantage of this period to reflect on your relationship with money. Eliminate negative beliefs and visualize yourself already living in the abundance. If possible, write down your intentions and small daily advances in a notebook, as this reinforces your trust in divine action. That active faith generates movement, and when you stand firm, the universe responds with opportunities. To now, pray this prayer with faith and determination by 7 days in a row, and trust that St. George is already fighting for you. Glorious St. George, fearless warrior, faithful protector of those who cry for justice and abundance. With your sacred sword, now cut all bonds of scarcity, all debts and financial challenges that surround me. Break down the walls that impede my growth and open the paths to prosperity in my life. You who faced the dragon and won with faith and courage, grant me your spiritual protection against all envy, negativity, and hopelessness. May I have the strength necessary to overcome obstacles and the wisdom to recognize opportunities sent by God. Free me from fear and doubt, and may my mind always be focused on the abundance and overcoming. Valiant Knight of Christ, intercede for me before the Heavenly Father. Would in 7 days of prayer my faith be renewed, my finances be transformed, and my life be blessed with abundance and justice. That I promise to repay this grace with gratitude and charity, helping those who also need it. St. George, my holy warrior, open my paths and guide me to victory. Amen. On the 7th day, make a charitable gesture to symbolize your confidence in prosperity. That it could be a donation, a kind word, or simply sharing this prayer with someone who also needs it. Thus, you close this cycle with high energy and allow the flow of abundance continue in your life. Believe St. George is already fighting for you, and great miracles are on the way. Faith and persistence are the keys to transform your financial life. And now that you know the power of St. George's prayer, the next step is in your hands. Are you ready to give that vote of confidence to the universe and open yourself to prosperity? Change begins the moment you choose to believe and act. Commit to this prayer for 7 days and watch as paths open up before you. But remember, miracles don't happen in isolation. Leave your prayer request in the comments. Share your experience and be part of this chain of faith. St. George fights alongside those who demonstrate courage and confidence. The more people join this journey, the stronger the energy of transformation becomes. Prosperity grows when it is shared. If this content made sense to you, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any prayers or powerful teachings. Continue your journey with faith, because divine intercession is already at work in your life. May St. George guide your steps and bring abundance, protection, and victory.